And we'll try this again.
ConnecTogether creates opportunities.
And I'll start that in just a minute. It's a bit interesting. You can't get rid of these little things. Okay, so I'll play the video, Eric, and then you can take it away.
ConnecTogether creates opportunities for people living with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. Check out some of the programs we offer through our online learning platform, ConnecTogether, including our Service Mondays, where we highlight a local organization or initiative, Wednesday Chair Yoga with Bobby Seal-Kobiski, Thursday Adapted Fitness with Megan Williamson, Friday Rotating Dance Classes hosted by Janice Lawrence and Joanne Cuff, and other initiatives including presentations by the Disabled Independent Gardeners Association's Growable program and our Perspective series. Check out our updated programs calendar on our website, connectra.org, or find us on Facebook at ConnecTogether Society.
All right. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, well, welcome. It is noon here in Vancouver, and as we were leading up to this, everybody was giving the weather update. So what I can tell you is it's cold here in Vancouver, and those joining us in Newfoundland have also said it's cold there too. So not only are we sharing our desire to help people in assistive devices, but it seems that we share in common the weather struggles. But hopefully wherever you're joining us from, you're warm. Welcome to our TetraNation Awards. This is a virtual campaign to celebrate the volunteers who make the devices, and especially during our National Volunteers Week here. So thanks everybody who's joined live. I'm Eric Molendijk, the program manager of Tetra, and we'll do some more introductions momentarily, but I do want to start with a land acknowledgement. So if you'll, we'll just do that. While we are meeting today, both in person and on a virtual platform, I would like to acknowledge the importance of the land in which we each call home, wherever that might be. And I'd like to acknowledge the traditional territories of the Coast Salish people, and in particular, the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations, on whose traditional territories we are located. We do this land acknowledgement to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility to improving relationships between nations and improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples. We are grateful to live, learn, work, and play on this land. Please join me in a moment of reflection. Thank you, everybody. So I do want to just do some introductions. Again, I've already said who I am. Again, I'm the program manager, Eric Molendijk, joining you from Vancouver, where the head office of Tetra is located. I now would like to turn it over to our national coordinator, Sylvia Balico, to introduce herself.
Thanks, Eric. I'm Sylvia Balico. I'm the national coordinator of the Tetra Society, and I look after the chapters across from Newfoundland through to British Columbia. And I'll pass it off, I guess, to Crystal.
Thanks, Sylvia. My name is Crystal Liachko-Johnston. I'm the Prairie Regional Coordinator. So I look after Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. I'm located in Winnipeg, where it is also very cold but sunny. So I will pass things along to Steve.
Hi, folks. I'm Steve Trussoni. I'm the Halifax chapter coordinator and the interim Atlantic regional coordinator, and just got going in May with the organization. I'm based here in Halifax, and yeah, it's my first TetraNation. It's very exciting.
Thanks, everybody. And we also do have some of our coordinators in other chapters, Paul Marriage joining us and Dr. Leonard Lai. And I do want to take a moment to acknowledge Kim Donaldson, who is joining us from Fable. And Fable has been very kind and generous and is this year's sponsor for TetraNation. And Kim, on behalf of Tetra, we wanted to thank your organization for your support, and it's been a really exciting new partnership. And feel free to tell us a little bit about your organization.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Eric. We just want to say that we're excited about it too. Just the premise of this event, the kind of combination of innovation and technology is something that is very much aligned with Fable. So what Fable does, if you're unfamiliar with us, we work in the field of digital accessibility. And so our mission is to empower people with disabilities to participate in, contribute to, and shape society. So we employ folks with disabilities who use assistive technologies, including things like screen readers, screen magnification, switch controls, eye tracking, head mouse, to test the digital products. And so what that means is to test websites and apps using the assistive technology that they already use in their day-to-day and provide feedback. And so our customers are typically large-scale organizations. So some of those businesses include names like Walmart, Kijiji, Slack. And so the feedback that our community of testers provides goes directly to the design teams. They take that feedback, they go work with their teams, come back a few weeks later and say, you know, we listened to what you had to say. We've implemented these changes. Can you have a look at it again? And they say that the number one piece of feedback that we get from our community in terms of what they enjoy is seeing those changes and just knowing that they're contributing to greater accessibility on the internet. The second thing that people like a lot is the wage that they're paid. So minimum starting wage is $40 an hour. Folks work from home, works kind of most similarly to gig economy work. And so people can say yes or no as their schedule determines. If you're interested in learning more, I'm happy to drop my email in the chat. And you can also check out our website, makeitfable.com, and you can learn a little bit more about our community of testers at makeitfable.com/community. Again, really happy to be here and excited to see the results.
Thank you so much for that, Kim. And please do drop your website, etc., in the chat as well. And I should mention Fable is also supporting one of our flagship events through ConnecTogether, which has been kind enough to host this event here today. You're also supporting our ConnecTogether, our Abilities Expo. That's ConnecTogether's flagship event that's happening on May 18th. So we may be seeing you in person as well. So thank you for your continued support of our organizations. But now
I would just like to say Fable's website is linked on the TetraNation page. It's right at the top of the TetraNation website page. So
You're
you
pro,
can
Jessica.
get it right there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you'll get to hear Jessica's voice here more momentarily as she has done all the narrations on the videos. So without further ado, we'll get started. These are the top 3 voted videos in each region. So we'll start with the Atlantic region. What I thought I would do is play all the videos, and then Steve, or if there was a coordinator or a volunteer that was involved in the project, they could also give an overview. So I'm just going to screen share here. Make sure I have sound on. Okay, now Do we see, did that work? I shared my screen. I don't think it took. Screen share. Let me do this.
Drum roll.
Yes. Now, does everybody see the parachuting table for St. John's?
Yep, there we go.
Okay.
This Tetra solution comes from the ingenious and talented volunteers of St. John's in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Hi, my name is Claire McCarthy, and I'm a member of the High Performance Training Team here at MUN. I would like to offer my thanks and appreciation to the entire Newfoundland and Labrador Tetra Society team for their design in the fabrication of my new table.
The table won first place in the National Canadian Society for Mechanical Engineering in the Greatest Potential for Social Impact category for 2022. Now, let's end on a quote Claire sent us. My sport, shooting parasport, is an adaptation of shooting sports for competitors with disabilities. Target shooting is a test of accuracy and control, in which competitors, in my case using an air rifle, fire a series of shots at a stationary target. This wheelchair-mounted support table, designed and fabricated by the Tetra Society team, provides me with the flexibility and, more importantly, the stability that I need to be able to compete in the prone shooting event. My goal is to one day represent Canada at international shooting parasports events, and this new table will certainly help me realize that goal. If you think this project...
Okay. I hope the sound came through. I think, okay, good. Because that's the great thing about Zoom is you got to remember to check the little box. So that was number 3 on our Atlantic countdown. So now I'm just going to scroll to number 2 here.
Welcome to TetraNation 2023. This Tetra solution comes from our brilliant volunteers in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Our client, Deborah Hawksley, sent in a beautiful write-up, and what better way to highlight the project's impact than the client's own words. In 2018, I contacted the Tetra Society to ask for their expertise and support in creating an ergonomically friendly piano cart after I'd injured my back pushing a big, heavy wooden piano cart around the facility in which I work. Tetra responded with such enthusiasm and gladly took on the project and ultimately designed and created a lightweight piano cart that would allow me to transport my piano, instruments, and stool all around my workplace with ease. In 2020, I developed a pretty significant injury to my shoulder, which left me unable to transport my instruments, and everyday tasks at work became a challenge. Having had such a positive experience with the Tetra Society previous, I did not hesitate to reach out to Dr. Leonard Lai to see if it would be possible to tweak one thing about the cart to accommodate this new injury, which I could only hope would be possible. I asked if he could make this cart electric, so I could carry on at work and prevent injury, creating longevity within this role. Dr. Lai said, "If we can put a man on the moon, we can make this cart electric." I was overjoyed to hear this, and I will be forever grateful to him, the Tetra Society, and the students that put their time, hearts, and brilliant minds into this project. There are no words to describe how thankful I am. I was speechless when it arrived and saw how easily I would now be able to move the piano. It is all controlled by a joystick that allows me to effortlessly move the piano cart. The Tetra Society has provided me with a safe and effective way to transport an instrument that traditionally remains stationary to resident lounges, individual rooms, to the courtyard, chapel, and the auditorium to provide quality music for the residents of this home. Thank you again for all your dedicated time and work on this project that has made such a profound impact, not only on me personally, but subsequently the residents within St. Patrick's Mercy's home.
As you said earlier, Steve, drum roll, because now we're going to project number 1 that was most voted in the Atlantic region.
Welcome to TetraNation 2023. This Tetra solution comes from the creative minds and generous souls of the volunteers of St. John's in Newfoundland and Labrador. Our client, a young man named Robert, was unable to get his right hand into a traditional hockey glove due to having cerebral palsy. Our volunteers recognized that they needed to adapt his hockey gloves in a way that would make it easy for Robert to independently put them on and take them off. The solution was to convert the 5-fingered hockey glove into a mitten by opening it up and then sewing the fingers together. For a little insight on the impact something like this can have on a child, here's a direct quote from Robert's mom, Heather. "We cannot tell you how happy Robert is with his glove. Robert is loving using his glove for ball hockey and knee hockey club. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you for creating a glove that allows Robert to play the sport he lives for." If you think this project should win,
all right, that was the winners of the Atlantic region. I'm just going to stop.
Could I add something on that?
Absolutely, Steve. I was just going to stop sharing and give you that opportunity. Please do add. And of course, we have in attendance Dr. Leonard Lai, who was featured in those videos. So over to you, Steve.
Well, he sure was. Yeah, no, it was a Newfoundland sweep for sure. Tribute to Newfoundland. But what I did want to mention, if I could, the volunteers that Leonard worked with, that he told me that had worked with him on the project. The shooting table, Dr. Leonard Lai was assisted by Joshua Baker, Oscar De Silva, and Omer Mohammed. And those are the volunteers on the shooting table. And for the motorized piano cart, Dr. Lai was assisted by Nicholas Philpott and Oscar De Silva. And
I think there's one name missing.
Sorry.
So there are two Nicholases. One is Nicholas Philpott, one is Nicholas Noel.
Okay, Nicholas Noel.
Yeah,
as well.
Noel. N-O-E-L.
Noel, yes. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. And finally, I just wanted to mention Leonard had done the adapted hockey glove himself as a volunteer. I mean, he wears many hats in the organization, but he did that one himself. But he had told me that the story of Robert, the client, and the modification of this hockey glove is going to be featured in an upcoming 3rd edition of the book Everyday Hockey Heroes by Bob McKenzie and Jim Lang. And that'll be coming up next year. Thank you.
Actually, my wife assisted me with some of the sewing because my hands are too big to sew the inside. So she helped me with that. Right. The other thing is it's the narration by Jessica was amazing. I would say it made everything look so good, And that was the hockey glove is the 4th one that I made. So I think there is a demand for such a thing. But so very gratifying, of course.
Well, thank you, Steve and Dr. Lai, for those insights. And to me, it's no surprise that as we're in the Stanley Cup playoffs, of course, the Hockey Glove Project was number 1, right? And as we talked about in our land acknowledgement, live, work, and play. And Tetra definitely does cover all aspects of daily life. So moving now to Central Canada, and Sylvia will give an overview after we play the video. So I'm going to go back to screen sharing here. We still have sound selected. So I'm going to go to this one here. And again, we're going 3, 2, 1. So this was the 3rd most votes for the Central region.
To TetraNation 2023. These next Tetra solutions come from our fantastic group of volunteers in the Ottawa chapter in the Central region. Our client for this 3-in-1 Tetra project was the CHIO Preschool for Children with Varying Disabilities. Some students couldn't use the smartboard in their classroom, so Central Region volunteers adapted extendable pointers with pull tabs and easy hold grip assists. The next task was to create an active game that the children could play from their desks or wheelchair tray. A toy racetrack was constructed from vinyl sections with Velcroed Hot Wheels tracks. The racetrack is attached to their wheelchair tray or desk with the gooseneck arms and adjustable clamps. Now the kids can roll cars, marbles, small balls, or whatever else down the track for fun or friendly competition. Spray bottles filled with water are often used in arts and crafts, so the last bit of this project was to adapt some so children...
Eric, only half the screen is showing.
Triggers. The Central Region volunteers extended the trigger length and grip on the bottles, ensuring comfort and ease for some young students. For others, though, that was not enough. So the volunteers found rechargeable, battery-powered sprayers that the kids could operate with a button. They then added Easy Hold Universal Grip Assist to the bottle so the kids wouldn't drop it. Now many more students can participate in lots of classroom activities with their peers. We believe that education should be accessible and equitable to all. If you think this
was that better? When I hit full screen, is it fully showing now?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Once you hit full screen, it works.
All right, good. I just wanted to make sure that I went to the videos fairly easy, so I had it so I could see the list, but of course we want to see the full projects. So now we're going to go to number 2 in the Central Region, the therapeutic play structure.
Welcome to TetraNation 2023. This amazing Tetra solution comes from one special project and brilliant volunteer in Toronto in the Central Region. A local preschool specializing in individualized programs for children with disabilities received a large gift this past fall, a brand new custom-designed therapeutic play structure built by our volunteer. Last spring, an occupational therapist working with the center sent our volunteer an email with photos of the center's climber and asked if there was anything he could do to improve it. As you can see, it wouldn't take much to improve upon this old climber. He went to a sketchbook designing a unique climber just for the kids at CICC. While typically our projects are of a smaller scale, our Central Regional Coordinator Sylvia went above and beyond raising funds for projects this year. With her hard work and donations from the Harold E. Ballard Foundation and the Alice and Murray Maitland Foundation, we had the money for children's projects and the stars aligned to bring these deserving kids this incredible new therapeutic play structure. If you think this...
All right. So we'll go now into the winner of the Central Region. I just have to scroll down my list here. Here we go.
Welcome to TetraNation 2023. This Tetra solution comes from the brilliant Ottawa U student team in the Central Region. The team was presented with this problem. A conventional gripper stick is unusable by many people with weak hands since the trigger needs to be both reached and pulled tight to achieve the grip. It must often be held tight while retrieving the object, furthering the issue. Our client and her parents wanted a custom device that she could use to independently retrieve objects of various sizes and weights and keep them in place until she could take them or put them where she could reach them. The student team took on the problem headfirst and developed a new design. Battery power rather than hand strength was used to open and close the claw, and a servo motor with a force sensor was used to protect the retrieved item. A carbon fiber tube ran from the gripper to a handle with an on-off switch and large buttons to activate the open and close actions. The handle is supported with a strap, and the strategic placement of the batteries provides counterbalancing weight. All structural components were 3D printed to the client's choice of color. Large and small objects can be accommodated. There is a magnet for metal items and a hook to get soft and loose material. This project was part of a design course over the winter-spring 2022 term and resulted in a second grabber being made a few months later for the children at the Chio preschool.
And that was our winner in the Central Region. I'll stop sharing again briefly. I can turn it over to Sylvia Balaco, who was mentioned in those videos. And Sylvia, as you said, some pretty exciting projects. And Paul Marriage is here as well, who is very involved with Ottawa and the student team. So if either of you would like to comment on our projects this year in the Central Region, please go ahead. Sylvia, over to you.
Well, first of all, I would like to say congratulations to the Ottawa team. First of all, they had 2 high contenders here in this competition and won. So congratulations, Paul, to you and your team. I wanted to say 2 of the projects, the one for the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario and the Centennial Infant and Child projects, benefit many children. So I think they're exceptional as it's for more than one person. And I can't even explain the effects that it has, especially children's projects. So I don't know, Paul, if you want to say a couple of words, go right ahead.
Just to say that the pink powered grabber, this was developed through an ongoing cooperation that the Ottawa chapter has with the University of Ottawa project design course or product design course. And over a period of 4 months, this gripper and all its components were developed by a student team of 4 second year, usually some first year, some later year students. So this, we did not have to, sometimes when projects come off the line from these cooperative ventures, we have to develop them further. But this one was complete and operable just as it sort of came off the student production line. So we're very pleased, and we've had a number of very good successes. And interestingly enough now, this cooperation is being recognized by the federal government, and the University of Ottawa is now receiving funds from, it's called the Work Integrated Learning funding from the federal government. So they are able now to do larger projects. They're able to do more extensive work and engage in more projects. It's a very good cooperation, and we enjoy that.
Especially like that they painted it pink. They're paying attention to detail, and that's so important for clients, especially children. So
this was the young girl's choice. So.
Excellent.
Excellent all the way around. I want you to know that I have shared these projects as well with our chapter here in Vancouver, and the volunteers were very impressed by the motor usage, right? Many of the grabbers that I have used throughout my life, you have to squeeze, you have to get a grip, you have to get a certain angle. So everybody nationwide living up to our contest here has been impressed with the projects. So congratulations again to everyone. And hopefully they watch this. It will be up on our YouTube later, but definitely Paul and Sylvia pass along congratulations to all involved.
Thank
so
you.
Now we'll move across to the prairies. So I'm going to screen share one more time. My sound is selected. And again, we're going 3, 2, 1, and we're going to start with this video here. And I'll just go full screen.
Welcome to TetraNation 2023. This Tetra solution comes from a dedicated and compassionate volunteer in Edmonton in the Prairies region. This is Gordon. He was in this position for 25 years, wanting and seeking a solution to no avail. After a request for assistance was completed, our volunteer solved the problem. After about 5 hours of work, a custom solution was made. Gordon's guardian ancestor said, "This is 12 months later, and he has never spoken or responded before. I came to see him and said, I just talked to Jim Stone, and he got this big smile on his face." So she snapped this photo of a beaming Gordon sitting in his wheelchair with the custom headrest. Our volunteer had this to say, "His smile is my paycheck, like I have been super paid in full. This is what we receive for our efforts as volunteers with Tetra." If you think this project should win Tetra.
An amazing story and an awesome smile for sure. So that was number 3. So now we're going to scroll to number 2.
Welcome to TetraNation 2023. This Tetra solution comes from a shining volunteer in Saskatoon in the Prairies. Our client Lisa grew up in an active family and loved sports from an early age. After a spinal cord injury at 14 years old, she took up wheelchair sports and attended 3 Paralympic Games. Throughout her career, Lisa won 6 gold and 1 silver medal and broke 7 world records. A severe shoulder injury ended her competitive sports career, and she thought she would never be active again. But several years later, she discovered adaptive mountain biking and surfing. She could see the beautiful outdoors and be active in a way that did not aggravate her shoulder injury. Lisa designed a wheelchair-accessible camper van so she could have the ability to travel comfortably to the mountains and coast. But to pack her bike and surfboard, she needed the ability to adjust the van layout. Using linear actuators for her bed and the adjacent bench, our volunteer brought Lisa's vision together. Thanks to the efforts of the Tetra Society, she spent the last couple winters traveling with her van, mat, bike, and surfboard. If you think this...
Again, great project and a wonderful sunset. When I see these projects, I always realize how boring I truly am, because I would not be gutsy enough to do that kind of getting in your camper. And now we'll go to the winner for the Prairie region, the custom seating apparatus.
Welcome to TetraNation 2023. This Tetra solution comes from the ingenuity and cooperative hard work of the Winnipeg volunteers in the Prairies region. Our client has mobility loss in her legs and needed a custom seating apparatus that would keep her upright and stop her from sliding down. The volunteer made the entire seat custom made to fit the individual needs of our client. She needed extra support for her back and neck, as well as good support against her hips to keep her legs from coming out of place. This awesome contraption was truly a team effort. First, technical volunteer Dale designed the seat, and then Shield Industries donated the workshop so Dale could build the seat from foam. Then sewing volunteer Sharon helped with the cover of the cushion, and to finish it all off, technical volunteer Everett adjusted the seat back to be able to close the seat for portability. If you think
And that was our winner. So again, I will now turn it over to the coordinator that oversees this region, Crystal. And Crystal, in the Prairies, we had a first time ever for TetraNation. We had a sudden death vote off.
That's right. That definitely fit with the hockey playoffs that are going on right now. So thanks to everyone who voted, not only in the first round, but in the sudden death round we had yesterday. And that was just between the Saskatoon camper van project and the Winnipeg seating apparatus. I just wanted to give a big shout out, as we heard in those videos. All of this wouldn't be possible without our volunteers all across the Prairies, and especially in those chapters with the top 3 votes, so Edmonton, Saskatoon, and Winnipeg, as well as all the volunteers' hard work. We're also lucky enough to have a lot of community support, as you also heard in the Winnipeg video. We have a community partner here, Shield Industries, that allows our volunteers to build in their shop. So that's always nice. And again, they couldn't do that without that support. And again, just seeing the smile on Gordon's face, seeing Lisa being out there in her camper van. I would urge everyone to follow her on Instagram. She is keeping it wheel, and she posted a wonderful video yesterday. She spends the whole summer down south, and she does surfing, and she's always active, and just really being thankful. It was her anniversary of 27 years in a wheelchair. And yeah, I urge everyone to check her out. And thanks to all our volunteers, and thanks to everyone for watching.
There, on that line, there are some several videos that have been done that are much longer and whatnot with the camper van that goes into detail of exactly how it works and what was done and all the other modifications that were done in other ways. I believe she was on like Tiny House or something like that. But if you look her up, you'll find it, and there's some really interesting stuff about the van there.
And that humor makes me smile, keeping it real, and she definitely lives her mantra to the fullest. And quite an athlete as well. In that video, you said seven world records that she was a part of. So the projects, our volunteers, and our clients, amazing backgrounds and diverse, and it's just wonderful to showcase some of these stories. So now that brings us to my neck of the woods in BC here. And we'll showcase our top 3 as voted for the Pacific region. So I'll share one more time here. Got my sound selected. And again, we're going to go 3, 2, 1, and we'll start with this video here.
This Tetra solution comes from an ingenious volunteer from Abbotsford in the BC region. Our client was looking for something to assist him with getting dressed, so our volunteer built just that. Check out our volunteer demonstrating the use of his brilliant contraption.
Okay, here goes a trial of getting pants on. Here's where we grab hold, put our pant leg in, pull up, get one in, lower it down, grab the other one. A little prototype here, little armpit height to try and demonstrate how to take your shirt off and on. Haven't practiced this a lot, but you'll get the idea. Hook our sleeves on. And it's off. Setting it up in the morning to get it on. Flip it over the hooks like that. Enough to get your head inside your sleeve. Something like that.
If you think this project should win TetraNation 20...
I have to say, what commitment by the volunteer there, not only to make the device, but to model it and demo how it works, all in the name of showing how the solution can make a difference, and it's being happily used by our client in Abbotsford. So moving on to project, the second most voted.
Welcome to TetraNation 2023. This Tetra solution comes from the ingenuity of a lovely volunteer in Vancouver in the BC region. Our client has limited hand strength due to multiple sclerosis and needed a way to independently clip her nails. Our volunteer was eager to help after receiving the request for assistance. In roughly 30 days, he designed and 3D printed this custom adaptive nail clipping device. If you think this project should win TetraNation...
That's number 2. And now going to number 1, the wheelchair platform. I just have to scroll to that. Here we go. This was the winner for the BC region.
Welcome to TetraNation 2023. This Tetra solution comes from our awesome Vancouver volunteers in the BC region.
Just flip it up. There's the casters underneath. And rubber bumper here so it doesn't rattle. And this extra protection.
Our client wanted to be able to tow a companion on a platform on the back of his power wheelchair. So after filling out a request for assistance, our volunteer built him just that. Looks like it works pretty well. If you think this project...
And people did vote and think they thought it should win TetraNation for the BC region. And I'm happy to say that it did. And as you can see, as it's been said as well, the volunteers have quite a bit of fun making the devices. And we've kind of showcased trimming nails, for personal care or riding with somebody or doing things that need to get done, like getting dressed. I am so thankful to be able to celebrate our volunteers and tell these stories. Again, thank you, Jessica, for all the work that you did. And thank you very much for playlists, so I didn't have to keep exiting out and resharing. I think this was the smoothest showcase that we have done. And we've done TetraNation a number of years now, and I just wanted to read off some of the stats of the campaign because this has definitely been our highest participation. So, and I want to thank Jessica again for getting this together. So we ended up with 665 total votes, not including the sudden death that happened. We had 3,270 total views through the web. And then on YouTube, we had another 1,634 views of our videos and our campaigns. So far and
Those
away,
numbers are actually a fair bit higher now.
okay. Yeah,
we
that
got
was
several more views across pretty much everything still over the last few days. So
yeah.
there will be a permanent updated number later, but just wanted to let you know those numbers are even higher than said.
Awesome. So that was the most previous update I had since Wednesday, and see the numbers continue to grow. And I just want to, on behalf of Tetra and Sylvia, if there's anything that you wanted to add, or any of the other coordinators, I've been involved with Tetra for a number of years, and people always ask what keeps you going after these years, or wanting to work with the society. And I always say, well, how can you not, when you're around such amazing people like the coordinators and the volunteers that make such truly great devices and have such an impact. So many amazing stories, like the one that we saw in Edmonton, to not be able to hold your head up for all of those years, and then the change that was made. And it's a great variety of projects. Some are more complex, and some, are just slight modifications that make a world of difference. And congratulations to all of our volunteers. And I couldn't think of a better way to bring to a close National Volunteers Week. Kim, is there anything else anybody wanted to add? I did just want to say, Kim, hopefully this gives you a better idea of Tetra, and if there's any thoughts that you had, please go ahead.
Thanks so much. I wouldn't say any additional thoughts. I did have a chance to check out the videos beforehand. And again, really that's where the excitement came in kind of hopping on board with this event. So much innovation and so much collaboration, which again is something that we hold dear to our own organization. And as Sylvia pointed out, the attention to detail with a selection of color, just working with the client from beginning to end on every piece of it. It's just so nice to see the needs and wants of folks, and the participation from the design of the product to the final execution. Yeah, we're really excited about it, and it was really nice to kind of see through all of the folks who had made it this far in the challenge. So thanks for letting us be a part of it.
Well, thank you very much. And Jessica, you mentioned about we have even more views now. I want to thank everybody who's joined us here live. So just remind everybody, if you wouldn't mind, where people can continue to see the videos or watch the videos.
Sure. So they're all available on the website now. No votes will be counted after the closing date. Obviously, we've awarded the prizes, but there's no way to turn that voting off. So and still keep the videos on the site, and I wanted to keep them there for ease. So I guess we'll continue to see how people love the videos, which is great. It'll give you a random, however many your screen fits. It'll give you a random that many of the entire playlist. And then you can also go to the Disability Foundation's YouTube, where, as Eric mentioned, they are all in playlists. They are in separated playlists by the region, as well as in a full playlist for the year. And you can watch them all on either places. And there's captions and whatnot for the videos in both locations.
And of course, in closing, one thing I wanted to mention is not only during TetraNation do we have content. Jessica has weekly updates of Tetra things, Tetra Tuesdays. Look for different campaigns. Don't forget to join us if you want to make the trek to Vancouver, but certainly if you're local, join us for the Abilities Expo happening on May 18th and get to learn more about our societies. And again, thank you to Kim and Fable. And if you wanted to know more about them, as Jessica said, they are linked with the Tetra website. So that was it for everything that I wanted to say and showcase for this year's live award ceremony of TetraNation. So unless there's anything else that anyone wanted to add, I wanted to say thank you very much. Thank you for all the votes, all the participations, all the video submissions. And Sylvia, I'll quote you, we'll do our best to make it bigger and better next year.
Hey, we've already been getting messages about projects that they want to be submitted for next year. So we've already got the ball rolling for that one. So that's pretty exciting. I also wanted to say thank you to everyone and congratulations to all of the volunteers and all of the chapters that won. And thank you so much to everyone who got me all the content. You know, I can't make these videos without the content there. And the more content I get this year, as Sylvia said, the bigger and better we can make it next year. So that is always exciting. So thank you so much to everyone. And there will be certifications created and prizes and all of the rest will be figured out and announced shortly. So thank you so much, everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend wherever you are, and may the weather change.
Dr. Lai, did you have something?
What projects you mean? Oh,
no, I
want
saw
to say
your
something.
Screen flash, yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say you did a great job, though, putting everything together.
Thank you very much.
Amazing job. You must be a professional.
Yeah, she is. It truly does bring things to light, right? Pictures say 1,000 words, and the videos are even greater. And again, Jessica did the voiceover work, and nobody's more appreciative of me than me because I didn't have to voice them over. You didn't have to listen to me drone on, so that just made it way better. So thank you, Jessica, and thank you, Dr. Lai. And I hope everybody enjoys their weekend and that it warms up from coast to coast. And I keep telling myself, summer is coming, right? Summer is coming. We all have to tell ourselves that. But,
oh, it is. If you check the weather, it's getting nice over the next few days. I've had my eye very, very close on it, as I'm sure you hear. It's coming. Sunshine is around the corner.
Okay. Well, on that note, let's go enjoy our Fridays. And thanks again, everybody. But continue to stay tuned to our Tetra website and our Facebook page for further updates. Bye now.